Taking a moment to check in with our body, noticing how we relax on the floor. Noticing how our body responds by just simply pausing and breathing. And slowly bend our knees, draw our knees into our chest, and give them a hug. Let's rock side to side, letting our head move side to side with our body, allowing our neck to relax, our upper back to soften. And come back to center. Let's either rock forward and back or roll to one side. We're going to come to standing at the front of our mat. From our standing position, finding our feet pointing forward, balanced through the feet, standing up tall, letting our shoulders roll back and down. Let's inhale, sweep our hands up. Exhale, fold. Hinging from our hips, letting our head hang, neck and shoulders relax. Inhale, rise up halfway. And exhale, fold. Bend our knees, come all the way up. And draw our hands together in front of our heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend our knees, come all the way up. And hands come together in front of our heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back, lunge. Either stay here or bring our hands to our front thigh and hold. Leaning forward halfway, letting our heart open, our gaze come forward. And then bring our hands down to the floor. Step our front foot back, plank. Lower all the way down. And inhale, cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, lower down. Hug our bellies in. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Walking forward, front of our mat. And fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend our knees, rise all the way up. And hands come together in front of our heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back, lunge. Either stay here with our hands on the floor or bring our hands up to our front thigh, finding a flat back, shoulders relax down away from our ears. Lowering our hands down to the mat. Step back, plank. Lower all the way down. Cobra, opening our heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk forward, front of our mat. And fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands come together in front of our heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back, lunge. This time we're coming all the way up in our lunge. Reaching our hands up to the ceiling. Turn our palms forward and take our hands wide. Arms are starting off straight. We're going to bend our elbows, drive our elbows into the side of our ribs, and lift our chest up. Reaching our hands up to the ceiling, bringing our spine to neutral. Exhale, elbows come into the side of our ribs. Lift our chest up, squeezing our shoulder blades together. And take our hands up, bringing our spine to neutral. And one more time, elbows into our side, nice and slow. Squeeze our shoulder blades together, lift our chest up. And bring our hands back up to the ceiling. Hands come down to the floor. Step forward and fold. Letting our head hang. And our shoulders relax. Inhale, step our left foot back. Lunge, front knee stays over the top of our ankle. Then rise all the way up. Hands reach up to the ceiling. Palms face forward, arms come wide. On our next exhale, bring our elbows into our side. Squeeze them in tight. Squeezing our shoulder blades together, open our chest, lifting it up to the ceiling. And then soften our rib cage, reach our hands up, creating that Y formation so hands stay wide. Exhale, elbows come in, squeezing and lifting. And one more time, hands reach up and then bring them back down. Elbows hug in, chest lifts. And reach our hands up. And hands come down to the floor. And step our front foot back, plank. Lower our knees down to the floor. And then walk our hands back towards our knees while we keep our toes curled under. Stretching the bottom of our feet. Stretching through our toes, making sure that our stretch is comfortable, not forceful. Option to take our hands to our thighs or bring our shoulders over our hips. And walking our hands back down to the floor. Walk our hands forward. We're going to release the tops of our feet onto the mat, lower our chest down to the mat. Extend our hands forward so that our arms are extended out in front of us. We're going to start with option 1, hands stay on the floor. Sweep our hands out to the side, turn our gaze down towards the mat. By the time our hands get to about our shoulders, we're going to flip our palms up, slide our hands back, and maybe thumbs come towards our hips. Slide our hands out to the side. By the time they clear our shoulders, our palms are going to be facing down, and extend our hands forward. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, lift your hands up, sweep your hands out to the side, clear your shoulders, palms face up, hands come towards our hips. Hands come back out, and then forward, and then hands come back, and then maybe bringing hands to the back of our hips. And then hands come forward, turning our palms down. And then hands come back, palms face up. Continuing to flow. And flow one more time. And then bring our hands underneath our forehead and pause. Letting our entire back side of our body relax. Hands come around to the side of our ribs. Hug our bellies in. Press up and back to child's pose. Letting our forehead come down or hands come underneath our forehead. Lifting our head and our elbows, let's walk our hands over to the right. Lengthening the left side of our body. Rising up. Walk our hands back to center and then over to the left. Lowering down to what feels good for you. Connecting with our breath, feeling it move through the right side of our body. Walking our hands back to center. And then walk our hands underneath us. Walking our hands towards our knees. We're going to keep our arms straight and our fingers spread wide. On our next exhale, round our upper back. Inhale, open our heart. Exhaling, rounding. Finding cat-cow through the upper body. Letting our breath assist our movement. As we allow our breath to move with our body, we allow relaxation to take place. We find movement. Creating movement maybe in our ribs and our spine. And bringing our spines back to neutral. We're going to walk our hands forward, find an all fours position. Then extend our right leg out to the side, lower our right hip down to the same height as our left, keeping our toes pointed forward. Letting our right hip soften. And bringing our right knee back in, place it on the floor, extend our left foot out, allowing our left hip to soften. If we're looking for something a little bit deeper, allow the tailbone to lift up to the ceiling, creating a bigger arch in our low back, but also keeping length. And bringing our left knee back down to the floor. Let's walk our knees in together and allow them to touch. Lift our right knee, cross it behind our left. Place it on the floor, walk our hands back towards our knees, sweeping our feet out a little bit further. And then I want you to find cow pose. Lengthen across your belly, open your heart. If you're not feeling a stretch, begin to sink your hips back until you do receive a stretch. Maybe that means you come back a little bit, maybe a lot, maybe you grab a seat on the floor. And slowly coming back up. Let's uncross our legs. And left foot or left knee will come behind our right. And sweep our feet out in the opposite direction. Walk our hands back. Tip our tailbone up towards the ceiling. Again, if you're already receiving a stretch, just by tipping your hips, you stay here. If you haven't received one, start to sink your hips back until you do. Slowly come back up, walking our hands forward, unwinding our legs. Rock our hips side to side. Our shoulders can move in the same direction or the opposite. You choose. And come back to center. Let's crawl forward, flip over onto our backs. From this lying down position on our backs, let's bend our knees. Bring our arms to our side, palms facing down. Now I want you to imagine a straight line from the back of your head to the back of your shoulders to the back of your hips. And imagine that straight line is going to be supportive and keeping these moving together. So I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift our hips, and let our hips stay in line with our upper back. Then lower our hips down and release them to the mat. Lift our hips up. Try not to tuck or round our low back or hips as we lift. And lower back down. Keeping our spine from our tailbone up to our shoulders neutral. Lower down and lift. Flowing with your breath, maybe inhaling as we lift. Exhale as we lower. Just finding a gentle pause at the bottom and the gentle pause at the top. Taking weight to the top of our shoulders, then letting it go. See if you can let go of any tension that you're holding on to in our shoulders, maybe unintentionally. Does that make a difference when we lift our hips and then lower them? Find one more time. And then lower all the way down. Let's walk our feet into touch. Cross our right leg over our left. Stay here or draw our knees into our chest, giving our right knee a hug. Then lowering our feet, uncross our legs, cross our left leg over our right, and lift our feet up, giving our left knee a hug. Lowering our feet back down, unwind our legs, take our arms out to the side. Then bring our arms up to the ceiling, crossing right arm over left. Walk our hands back towards our shoulder blades and give yourself a hug. Lifting our hands up, switch the cross of our arms. Reaching our arms back up. Let's bring our arms out to our side, allowing our palms to face up. We're going to close our eyes for Shavasana. Drawing our awareness back to our bodies. Let our breath begin to deepen. Slowly bending our knees. Roll over to our right side. Keeping our eyes closed, press ourselves up. Find our way back to a comfortable seat. As we keep our eyes closed, let's take a moment to check in with our body. Bringing our hands together in front of our heart, let's seal in all that we found in this practice. Take it as a gift, everything that we connected with, whether it was moments of weakness or moments of strength, whether it was tension or letting go. Knowing that both serve a purpose in helping us recognize what's going on in our body and giving ourselves the tools to learn to let them go. Namaste.